So today we are going to see a deadly disease called diabetes, and here are the charts that my brother has made.
This is type 1 diabetes, this is type 2 diabetes, and these are herbal cures for diabetes backed by science. So we are trying to give herbal cures that are backed by real-time researches, and I've researched all of these medicines, herbal medicines, and I'm sure that you all will be very happy when your diabetes is going to get cured. So this is just a small tool that I have tried to provide you with to cure your diabetes effectively. And here is astrological diagnosis of diabetes. And nowadays one cannot diagnose diabetes in the allopathy way or in Ayurveda way as fast as astrology can. In fact, when the child is born itself, astrology can tell you what kind of problems can the child face in its future. So the reasons why diabetes come and the astrological diagnosis of diabetes are also very important features of our presentation today. So hope you all enjoy it. Thank you and Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Ram. So today I would like to talk about type 1 diabetes. So this is my series of diabetes, and after watching this series of videos about how to cure diabetes entirely, maybe at your own home you will be able to cure diabetes naturally, entirely and herbally and easily too without any complications. In the market you get many sweet allopathic medicines for diabetes, but really, although they are sweet, in the background they cause a lot of problem to you. That's why today I have tried to make a video about type 1 diabetes, type 2 diabetes and the astrological diagnosis of diabetes. And let us start with type 1 diabetes. Type 1 diabetes is known as diabetes mellitus, and it is known as insulin dependent diabetes mellitus, that is IDDM. So type 1 and type 2 are known as diabetes mellitus, but the one that is insulin dependent is known as IDDM, and that is also known as type 1 in layman's language. So let us begin. What is diabetes? The complete or partial deficiency or unavailability or inaccuracy, inefficiency of insulin is diabetes mellitus. So the basic explanation of diabetes is basically that insulin is not present in the body, sufficient quantity of insulin is not present. I shall also provide the information about what is insulin and why it is very important for our body and what it really does. So for people who are already well versed in diabetes, also I shall just give a small explanation about diabetes. And this is directly associated with blood glucose level increase or decrease. So wherever blood glucose is increased, it means that insulin is deficient. So your body blood glucose raises, and this condition is known as hyperglycemia. Hyperglycemia means too much glucose in the body. So the glycemic index of the body raises very, very up, and then the body is having too much glucose inside, and this also can turn into a separate condition called glucose toxicity. And here is a simple explanation of a normal person's metabolism. So for people who want to know what is diabetes, there is a small explanation of a normal person's body. So here, you eat some food. The food is converted to glucose inside your body through many chemical and physical conversions. Then it goes through the bloodstream. Glucose goes through the bloodstream. And then insulin comes through. Insulin is manufactured by the pancreas. And inside the pancreas, there is something called islet of Langerhans, which has beta cells. And these beta cells secrete insulin, and now insulin gets mixed in the blood, and glucose and insulin travel. So here let me stop to explain what is insulin. Insulin is nothing but a key to the doors of the cells. So whenever glucose comes knocking at the door of the cells, then insulin is the key to open it. So it's like something like a ratio. One molecule of insulin plus one molecule of glucose together have to go and open the door, and then they enter inside. So insulin basically is at most necessary if glucose has to enter the cells. So why does glucose have to enter the cells? When glucose enters the cells turn glucose into energy. And this energy is used by us for walking, swimming and driving, etc. All kinds of activities can be done only when glucose is converted into
energy in the cells. Now, when insulin is there, this happens. Glucose enters inside. And insulin is the key, and that's how glucose is able to enter. And then a normal person can walk, can run, can do everything. So a normal individual will be able to do this kind of a glucose metabolism. But sometimes, here is a condition when insulin is not present in the body. That is diabetic patient type 1. The pancreas has beta cells, and these get complete elimination in the course of time. So they get destroyed entirely. So how do they get destroyed entirely? Toxins, drugs, autoimmunity and viruses and genetic changes are very important factors. The reason why I say toxins is there are various toxins like alloxan, streptozotocin and many more heavy metals that can cause acute pancreatitis and that can also destroy the beta cells inside. Not only that, viruses can also cause this. Various viruses that can destroy the beta cells entirely. And along with that, there are a few autoimmune diseases. And I should also draw the relationship between vaccines and autoimmune diseases in this video to show that vaccines also do cause diabetes. Vaccines have been shown to cause a lot of autoimmune disease. Nowadays, almost everybody is getting vaccinated, and that's why most people have autoimmune disease. And some of these kinds of autoimmune disease can later turn into acute pancreatitis, which can turn into insulitis, which can turn into diabetes mellitus. Type 1, IDDN. So, complete elimination of beta cells of the islets of Langerhans can destroy insulin entirely. There will be no production of the hormone of insulin, no secretion of the hormone of insulin, and there will be entire insulin deficiency. Now, when there is no insulin in the body, the person eats some food. And the person eats that food, it is converted into glucose, as usual. And once it's converted into glucose, it enters the bloodstream. And then it tries to go to the target cells. The target cells ask, please insert insulin before you enter. But glucose does not have any key, like insulin, to open the doors to the cell. Now when there is no insulin, glucose is not able to enter the cell. And therefore it just goes into the bloodstream and is not able to enter the cells. It tries to go to muscle cells, tries to go to liver cells, but nowhere it's getting open because all cells require this insulin hormone. Why has our body made this kind of defense system? Because insulin is a hormone that allows glucose to enter or not enter based on the availability or unavailability of glucose at that time. So to prevent hypoglycemia or hyperglycemia, God has given us a special defense mechanism, that is insulin defense mechanism, to control glucose toxicity. But when the hormone insulin is not present, you get diabetes mellitus. So then the keys are not there, and then all this glucose continues to go through the blood and results in glucose toxicity. Along with that, because glucose is not gone into the cell, then the body starts asking for energy, but there's no energy. So how do you walk? How do you sit? How do you do all kinds of things? How do you run? None of the things will happen when you have diabetes. Then you start feeling tired. Then your body starts finding different ways to get you energy. It collects your fat resources. So a person who's weighing some 50 kgs before he was diabetes, the body starts using that fat and burns it off. And when it burns it off, it creates energy by burning fat. And that's how it gets energy. Otherwise, a person can die as there is no energy stores. So the body burns off the fat, and then there is weight loss. So type 1 diabetes mellitus patients have a lot of weight loss. So they keep losing their weight because body has no alternate source of energy. And not only that, glucose starts continuing to go around the bloodstream, and then the blood asks the pancreas, come on, produce insulin. And there's a lot of pressure on the pancreas. And now the remaining few beta cells that are there are overwhelmed by this pressure, and they also die in the course of time. And then blood gets the kidneys to task. It says, come on, excrete the excess of glucose that's present in my stream. And then the kidneys aren't able to comprehend this, and they are overwhelmed. The nephrons present in the kidneys, which they pull out the water content of the body and remove the salts from it or excrete the salts, and they do all of that work. So the blood asks them to excrete all the glucose out. and now they have to get a lot of water content from the body and also excrete the glucose along with it, as it is working on a ratio basis. So it has to start pulling out all the water from the body, and then what happens is you get dehydrated, and now that's another symptom of diabetes. And when you get dehydrated, you feel wanting more water. When you drink more water, more glucose excretes from your body, and then you have glycosuria. That means your urine will be very sweet because it has a lot of glucose. And that's why diabetes, main characteristic of diabetes is glycosuria. That means too much sugar in your urine. And now your bloodstream asks your neurons to do lots of work. So now the neurons have to do so much managing work of this whole hangama, and now they also get stressed and you get neuropathy. And glycosuria also results in polyuria because the amount of urine excreted and the amount of glucose excreted in urine is on ratio basis. So a lot of urine has to be excreted for a lot of glucose to get out of the body. And then it results in polyuria, which in turn results in dehydration. So severe dehydration, severe nephropathy, ketonuria, ketoacidosis, and neuropathic foot ulcers are because of neuropathy. So then they get huge ulcers in the legs, and that's very painful and it's horrible. In Sanskrit, this disease is called Vata Prameha or Madhumeha. And also this nephropathy and neuropathy is called it's called Prameha Pitaka, huge ulcers that come all over the body when you have diabetes that is uncontrolled. Okay, so now this kind of diabetes is generally IDDM, generally incurable and insulin dependent. So people who are having type 1 diabetes or juvenile diabetes, so small children also get this diabetes. The diabetes that comes at an early age is known as type 1 diabetes. It requires insulin, and doctors will give you doses of insulin injections. And now we're going to bust what the doctors do. Sometimes you don't even require insulin and they make you take insulin. And here, help me produce insulin. Help me produce insulin. So the blood keeps screaming everywhere, and then along with that there are a few genetic effects that drive glucagon, ACTH, etc. hormones to go very, very rampant, and the glucose keeps going higher and higher and higher. This results in hyperglycemia. As there is no glucose, body converts fats into energy. This disease is called lipolysis. That means the lipid content of the body gets destroyed, and then you have weight loss. So if you're 50 kgs at the onset of type 1, you'll be 30 or maybe 20 kgs when type 1 is fully rampant. And this is juvenile diabetes also. So let's see the etiology of this disease, the etiological factors. First thing is that heavy metals, undiagnosed NIDDM. So if you have type 2 diabetes and you don't diagnose it, it can result in severe pancreatitis, and then it can turn into type 1 diabetes. Though it won't be juvenile diabetes, it's going to be type 1, and that can become IDDM, insulin dependent diabetes mellitus. Viral infections and free radicals. The major cause of all of these types of diabetes is nothing but free radicals. So what's a free radical? It is oxidative stress. So I'll make another video about this topic. It's a very big topic nowadays. Microwaves break food material into free radicals. So diabetics and everybody should not be using microwaves. These microwaves, which are rampant in use nowadays, they break the water molecules present in the food and turn them into free radicals, which cause cancer and diabetes. So most of the herbal medicines that we give next are to counteract these free radicals, oxidative stress. So you can read research papers. One of the most important reasons for diabetes is free radicals. So autoimmunity. Now I shall tell you that vaccines are the major cause of diabetes. The reason why I am telling you this is because vaccines contain aborted human baby fetal cells. Whether you believe it or not, these cause autoimmune disease. And these are present in vaccines, and then you have a lot of heavy metals in vaccines. Please turn your vaccine packet around and check what's present in it. It'll have a lot of aluminium in it. Maybe they don't give the amount, a proper amount of the aluminium they add, but it's too much. And this can get settled in all of the body parts and start destroying them slowly. And so, autoimmunity causes diabetes and vaccines cause autoimmunity. So therefore, vaccines cause diabetes. And fetal tissue, heavy metals, deactivated viruses, and these deactivation
and activation of viruses is a very big, bad story. It's a big lie that is being shown to you by the big pharma. They want to kill us all with various different kind of diseases. Whether you believe it or not, scientifically, vaccines do cause diabetes because they do cause autoimmune disease. Maybe it's very new to you all and most people might not talk about this issue, but vaccines do cause diabetes. And why has diabetes, and a few drugs also cause diabetes. Corticosteroids and phenytoin, these are a few drugs. Phenytoin in the sense they are anticonvulsants. So if you are suffering from epilepsy and your doctor has prescribed you some anticonvulsants, please check what they are. If they contain this chemical phenytoin, then you might be at the risk of developing type 1 diabetes. Now let us see what Ayurveda tells about diabetes, type 1 diabetes. So according to Ayurveda, first, the etiology of this disease is that kapha. So there are 3 doshas. You can watch my video on the dosha theory. Kapha, Pitta and Vata. So kapha is the main thing. Without kapha, no diabetic disease can come up. So first kapha has to mix with all the watery elements of the body and get localized in the mutra kosha or the urinary bladder, and there it gets localized, and then and the person who is very fat generally gets diabetes because this kapha starts getting vitiated and then the person gets diabetes. In case it is not properly seen, then all of this kapha starts getting pulled out by vata and being sent out, including medas. Medas is fat tissue of the body. Vata starts pulling out the medas of the body. I am just telling you about type 1 diabetes in Ayurveda now. Type 2 diabetes is a very long procedure in Ayurveda. So type 1 diabetes in Ayurveda is like vata is pulling all the fat and other tissues of the body out, and even including ojas, the main body component, the main essence of all the tissues is called ojas. It is the energy of the body, it is the lively source of the body, it is the component that makes us lively. And that's why this ojas is also pulled out by vata and put into the mutra kosha. It gets localized there and everything goes out of the body. It gets excreted out of the body. So the memory card got full, and that's why we're starting again. So now we're going to see what Ayurveda says about type 1 diabetes. Vata starts pulling all the material out of the body, all the dhatus, the tissues of the body. That means Medo dhatu, Rakta dhatu, etc. All of the dhatus go and get localized in the urinary bladder or mutra kosha, and from there it all goes out, and therefore the body becomes very lipolytic, and weight loss, etc. are experienced, and the person starts losing ojas, which is present in the body, which holds the body together, and the person dies eventually. So सर्व एव प्रमेहास्तु कालेन प्रतिकारिणः मधुमेहित्वमायान्ति तदा साध्या भवन्ति. That means that every single kind of diabetes, finally, if they are not cured, they turn into madhumeha, and when they are turned into madhumeha, it is extremely difficult to cure them, or you cannot even cure them, you cannot think of curing them. So when the prameha state itself comes, or the blood sugar level is rising a little bit, or it's pre-diabetes, at that time itself the person should take control of his glucose level and start reducing his glucose level and trying to implement lifestyle changes before it becomes an incurable disease and life-threatening situations come upon that person. So, is Madhumeha type 1 is one of the questions. And please do not think that the ancients did not know that diabetes was a genetic factor. In fact, in Janaka Samhita, so in Janaka Samhita, Chikitsa Sthana 6.57, the genetic basis of diabetes have been given, and diabetes which is genetic cannot be cured. Generally, it is not curable. But diabetes which has been acquired later on, that is curable, easily curable. The one that is genetic also can be cured, but only if you implement these things. So I give a guarantee that if you do whatever I say now in this video, you will be able to cure your diabetes
however severe it is, but you have to follow what is given in this video. Okay. Allopathic treatment for diabetes. This is what allopathicians do. Hypoglycemic drugs have no effect on IDDF. First of all, type 2 diabetes cannot be cured. Type 1 diabetes cannot be cured by any kind of hypoglycemic drug like metformin, glibenclamide, tolbutamide, sulfonylureas, and whatnot. All of these drugs cannot cure any form of type 1 diabetes because type 1 diabetes has an insulin deficiency. It does not have a receptor problem, or nor does it have the a kind of very less shortage of insulin or inefficiency of insulin. So it is a type of disease where there is no hormone at all. It's like, for example, hypothyroidism. The hormone is not present, so you need a supplementation of the hormone. Now here there is no hormone, so the body needs a supplementation of insulin. And that's why hypoglycemic drugs cannot be given by doctors, and even if they give you this kind of hypoglycemic drug, be careful. If you're taking insulin plus hypoglycemic drug, you will get hypoglycemia and you might die with coma and death if you take both the drugs together. Insulin is recommended because doctor might give it in case you have too high level of glucose, and insulin will be given, and along with that you'll get various kind of medications. Please don't take the medications because these medications first of all have no effect, because it's type 1, and instead they will give you hypoglycemia. So you should be very careful. So that's why please do not take any kind of hypolipidemic or anti-hyperglycemic drug or hypoglycemic drug, because all of these drugs will not have any effect medically or even according to allopathy, nor will they have any good effect. Instead they will cause you coma and even death. Okay. So now the Ayurvedic treatment for this is very severe because type 1 diabetes is a very dangerous disease, and if you don't have insulin supplementation, there is rapid death. So please first have a first line of defense, that is insulin, and then comes the Ayurvedic drugs. After you see that your blood sugar is going very low and it's becoming fine, then you stop taking insulin and then you become quite fine. So hypolipidemic, anti-diabetic and anti-hypertensive hypoglycemic Ayurvedic drugs have been mentioned in various scriptures. Shilajita is not one of them. Rodhrasava, Ayaskriti and thousands of these herbs can cure diabetes fully. And I should show you, I have another chart completely for that herbal remedies, and you can watch that video. So now here, what is diabetes exactly? According to WHO, 6.1 mmol of fasting blood sugar is the normal fasting blood sugar level, and 7.8 after 2 hours after glucose load, that is the 2 hours after glucose load blood sugar level. Now in diabetics, 7.0 is the 7.0 mm. So I was visiting with it, so let me begin again. 6.1 mmol is the exact normal quantity of blood glucose, mmol, and that corresponds with 110 mg per dl or deciliter, and 7.8 mmol that corresponds to 140 mg per dl, and that is after 2 hours after glucose load. And 7.0 mmol is the fasting level of blood glucose when a person has diabetes, and 11.1 that corresponds with 200 mg per dl is the benchmark for diabetes. So that is also the same for So it's also the same for impaired glucose tolerance. And the test that they conduct for this is called GTT. It's called glucose tolerance test. It is also available in the format called OGTT. And if you have ketonuria or glucosuria or glycosuria, please go to your doctor and first find out whether you have diabetes or not. Then you can follow the steps that I have given for diabetic rules and regulations. And the herbs that I have mentioned in the scriptures, I have formulated all these herbs into a small rules and regulations for a diabetic patient, and you can watch that video later. So that should be followed. And lifestyle should be, diet should be no toxin, no sugar or ghee should be taken, no salt or little signs of salt can be taken, and sleep should be late night on the ground. So you can sleep at about 10 o'clock when you have type 1 diabetes, and you must sleep right on the ground. I mean, you should sleep on a hard surface, and you should sleep inside a cow shed if you can. So that is the best thing. If your blood sugar levels are too high, try sleeping in a cow shed and drinking only cow urine in the morning, and you will get cured of your diabetes. Do this for many days, 40 to 50 days, and you will be cured of your diabetes. Sleep in the cow shed, or if you're scared of doing that, sleep on an acupuncture bed sheet in your house. Don't use a mattress, don't use directly floor, don't use soft bed sheets. You're supposed to sleep without a bed sheet, or if you're feeling cold also, you can put a very hard thing on top of yourself, and you can put a very acupuncture kind of thorny surface where you can sleep, not thorny, I mean pricking surface, puncturing surface, and you can sleep on that kind of a place, and you should continue this daily, and that's how you can get cured. And if you want yourself to be fit, then you should walk on acupuncture things, so you can buy it from any kind of place and you can sleep on it, acupuncture mattresses, everything acupuncture. So you should basically be pricked. And next thing is that every morning you can drink horse urine, buffalo urine or cow urine. Cow urine is the best, but horse urine and buffalo urine have shown very powerful anti-diabetic things. Choose any one of these three things daily based on your availability. And if you are having a very severe case of type 1, you should go and live with cows, and you should drink only their urine and only their dung for many months together, or at least days. Only their urine as water and dung as food. So if you are able to do such a thing, if you are on that kind of a diabetic situation, then please try this one thing. It will really cure you.
But the cows should be indigenous.
Yeah, that is of course there. And the urine of these cows should be drunk daily without fail. So urine is very important because cow urine is very good for health. Horse urine is also important. Horse urine has been mentioned in the scriptures, that is good. Cow urine also can be taken, but horse urine and buffalo urine is the best. Okay, so next, no pillow. When you sleep, please do not use any pillow as it vitiates the kapha present in your body. So no using pillows. And sitting, no sitting on any kind of sofa. If you want to sit on the ground, sit on an acupuncture mat. Please do not sit on sofas. Sofas vitiate kapha. And no cushion should also be used. On the acupuncture mats, activities that you can do is gardening is very good. It reverses many types of diabetes. Do gardening, put your hand in the mud, and also along with that, you can take care of cows and bring them, do all of that work. Milking is a good thing, but don't drink milk, only milking the cows. So that's a very strenuous exercise. Exercise a lot daily, and horse riding is also a very good thing for type 1 diabetics, especially if you're an obese type 1 diabetic. It's a very rare condition, but if you're obese and you are a type 1 diabetic and you're able to sustain such exercises, please do them. Do horse riding, etc. But make sure you're on insulin therapy while doing this, because your body needs energy for glucose to enter the cells. But after you start performing the remedies that I give there, then maybe you won't even need insulin. And if you have very less level of hyperglycemia, I don't even think you will need insulin. The doctors are just cheating you and making you buy very expensive insulin shots. So be very careful of that. So therapies that you're first supposed to take when you're diagnosed with diabetes and you come out of the room, make this guideline for yourself. Purgation. Severe enema should be given. Severe enema in the sense, you can get enema done by any hospital, but that's too much of toxin, so please don't do that. Take, you can do an enema from an Ayurvedic hospital with herbs, that's okay. And along with that, castor oil must be taken 2 spoons with, you can take it with warm water and honey, and it induces immediate purgation. I should also make another video on purgation. So the moment you get out of the room of the hospital and the doctor says you're diabetic, you start off with purgation, because purgation will remove all the toxins from your body. It's called virechana in Sanskrit. Next thing is detoxification. Detoxification includes various herbs, and I will also show all those herbs to you and their methods in another video that is on herbal remedies for diabetes. And First line of defense is insulin, of course, when you are diagnosed with severe type 1 diabetes. The second thing is hypoglycemic drugs. That is not allopathic drugs. I don't mean allopathic drugs. First of all, they're not useful as I explained. The main thing is please use only herbal remedies, and I shall explain all of them for you. And Amritavalli juice plus neem juice plus turmeric plus triphala plus honey. These things can be taken. If you don't include honey, all the more better. Only take these things in the morning, early morning, empty stomach. So Shalasarali Kotha is a very special thing that can be used for type 1 diabetes, and if you want to really get cured of type 1 diabetes, really, if you're bent upon getting cured of type 1 diabetes, please use bitter gourd juice in the morning. Take 1 full glass of bitter gourd juice, or just little, day by day keep increasing it. So, and also along with that you can take neem juice, one day neem juice, one day bitter gourd juice, and another day you can take Amritavalli juice, Guduchi juice, like that. Keep taking juices daily, very bitter juices. And one day take all the juices mixed together, increase your dosage daily, and you will get cured of your diabetes. And there is no exception to this. You will get cured of your type 1 diabetes. I mean, what the doctors say that you're not going to get cured of, that's what you get cured of. And here, Shalasaradi Kwatha can be taken. Cyperus rotundus is a special type of grass. Its root also can be taken. You can search it online if you don't have it, but it's best to get it directly from the ground if you're having the plant growing around you. Okay, so now we are going to see the diabetic cycle. What happens when you have diabetes is you have insulitis first. You get type 1 diabetes. Then your body takes glucose inside. You eat some food. You don't have insulin, so it turns into hyperglycemia, as I explained. Then you have diabetes because there's no glucose getting utilized. Then you become hungry. Then you again eat food. And again, there is no glucose. This slowly results in entire insulitis, pancreatitis, and entire pancreatic injury. So that's the diabetic cycle. And please not keep eating food and overeating even if you're hungry. Control the hunger. Only take anti-diabetic medicines. So my dear friends, we have today seen a lot of medicines etc. for type 1 diabetes. I've not yet covered the whole lot of medicines, thousands of them in Ayurveda, hundreds of them, not thousands, sorry. So I've explained all of those in my other chart, and as we see next. So thank you, Jai Shri Krishna.